when people discuss like the environment and climate change, I feel like the Arctic is always forgotten. And bringing you guys here was to help you expose that the Arctic is very much experiencing like climate change, and there are like environmental issues. And I feel like incorporating the Inupiaq values into everyday life, even in the work that you do, is important to instill into you guys. And I feel like another takeaway is just to say that when people think of the Arctic, they only think of polar bears and snow and maybe permafrost if they're kind of in the know of what the Arctic is, but that there's people here and that there's beauty in the ocean and the land and in the people. Like, even if you're far away from town, there's still beauty out there. You just have to look close enough and you just have to find it. And I feel like that's an important takeaway to remember, I guess.
Yeah, I can say that's something that I enjoyed. That's something that I would definitely hold dear to my heart. Is just like, hey, that there are people here that are connected to the land like we are in any other place on this planet, and they shouldn't be forgotten, and we should support them in the way that they know they need support. So I have to ask you this question, like, why did you bring us here?
Oh my goodness. So I brought you guys here because you guys are, first of all, family. And I wanted you guys to see what Barrow is like and has to offer. And when you, or I guess in conversations about like the environment and the climate, I feel like some people kind of forget about the Arctic. And I feel like exposing two of the most awesomest outdoorsmen and exposing them to the Arctic could bring more awareness to the people that you guys interact with. So yeah, and plus I really wanted to take you guys camping because that place is like my home and it's just what I love.
Went camping, ate whale blubber, seen caribou out in the tundra, went sledding, mudding, had some dope muck boots. Yeah.
And you went fishing.
Oh yeah. We can't forget about fishing. We caught 10 fish.
Yeah.
Just talking to you all and seeing how things from your elders are passed on to you, and then you be like, why do you do such and such? And you be like, you'll give us some answers, but some answers you'll be like, we don't know. Our elders just passed this on. And yeah. And I think about that when I think about home too. So yeah.
Like at the cabin when you asked about my appas or my grandfather's and my dad's cabin. That was so nice to show you guys. That's all I wanted for you guys to see. Like, it's 3 generations of cabins out there, and it could still grow.
Yeah. And when you think about, when you said that, I think about like my family, and when we go back down to the farm, like the old houses that are on the property. And so I think about the generations that lived in those houses and the generations that like on that street. So I think about all of that as well. So those are like that homely feeling that you get.
Yeah.
And I felt that like at the cabin.
I know. That's such a beautiful place out there. What was the most impactful thing you experienced here?
I do a lot of reading about Alaskan history, especially African American history in Alaska. So like all the readings that I had, to be here is like, I envision some of those stories in my head of people who are coming through here, people who with different experiences and stories behind. And I definitely wanted to gain more experiences here and see what potentially they saw, and then also learn a new story. Like learn new stories from the natives here.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. At the cabin, you're like telling me how you were told that the Arctic is only just snow and permafrost, was it kind of a shock just seeing green everywhere?
It was, oh man. So the flowers that you was pointing out was like dope to just see that. Like, you don't think that like flowers, or like I said, we get a different perception being in the lower part of the United States. So to just see it, and then we're at the top. Like, we're at the top and you see these lovely flowers and you understand the tundra a little bit more. You understand like the impacts of climate change and how you talk about that. And then you also see the natural beauty and why we need to preserve and protect, and why the people here have been preserving and protecting for centuries and millennia and on and on and on. So like, to just see it was like, we was on our own National Geographic tour. So it's like, next I gotta bring you to Georgia. Yeah. So Kim, like, tell us more about your family's connection to place and land at the cabin.
Ooh, I love it. So it's a long story. Well, first of all, my family, we're not like water loving family for some reason. I don't know, even though I'm on the coast, we're just, I don't know, we just don't really go to the ocean as much. I think our place is just inland because my grandparents and their parents were the ones that grew up on the land, and that's all they knew. And my grandfather and my grandmother passed down their knowledge to my aunties and my dad. And then my dad's goal in life was just to take us inland and make sure that we love it, because he wants us to make sure that we know how to take care of ourselves. And there's no better place to be to learn how to take care of yourself than being at the cabin inland. I think one of my favorite things about the cabin, or just what my family's told me, is that, well, I'm named after my grandmother. Her Inupiaq name was Utqiaġvik. And that's my Inupiaq name. And then my aunties tell me that they see a little bit of her in me. And then what's really awesome is that she really loves the land. She loves the tundra. And then we have a picture of her. She's just sitting outside of the cabin with her sunglasses on, sunbathing. And I aspire to be that cool of an Aka one day.
Yo, you are.
One thing that I absolutely love is how my brother sees the land and how he talks about it, and the importance of the Pikok family traditions, and him always aspiring to be like my grandfather, because he looks up to my grandfather, and I feel like he carries my grandfather's spirit whenever he's out there. So yeah, and what's really cool is that my brother, he says he's not like a good leader in a way, but when he's out there, he guides everybody. He makes sure everybody is okay, doing what they need to do, telling people what to do if he needs to, and then just making sure everything's squared away and everybody's safe. And I feel like you guys kind of saw that out there.
Oh yeah, I mean, for real, like Junior, if it's something to like talk all the time, but Junior like really set the examples by his actions, and it's like how he helps. You seen a lot of core values of family and the traditions and things that y'all speak about all the time. You saw him bring it out in action. So, you know, if you needed something, if you needed something physically or knowledge or something like that, he brought it, he talked about it, or he showed you how. Like he showed me how to set up the sled. And, you know, he showed us, you know, like when, you know, how what the importance of fishing, and like how to set up nets and how to deter certain animals away from the nets and all that stuff like that. So those things were taught, even for like driving four-wheelers and the Argo out. So we learned those things, and you know, Junior was just dynamic, and that's the leadership style that he showed. Like it was his style, and it was something he was comfortable with, and it was a great position for us to sit back, chill, and look at it and then know what to do. So he truly prepared us to get out there.
How's it feeling?
It's good. It's good. And it's not cold. Like, not too cold. I mean, I feel as though I possibly can take off the layer